Hello and welcome back. In our last video, we discussed the importance of taking action and how the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that all-important first step. It doesn't matter what kind of dream you have, it doesn't matter what kind of talent you have. If you don't take that first action and follow it up with another action and another action, then it goes nowhere. So procrastination is your absolute enemy. But in this video, I want to discuss the balance between not wanting to procrastinate and actually being patient with yourselves. We kind of lose patience with ourselves because we don't want to procrastinate. We want to reach our dream, but then we become hard on ourselves and we become impatient. We need patience. Patience is not our enemy. Where procrastination is our enemy, patience is not your enemy. Patience is your friend. I heard Tony Robbins say recently in a video, people overestimate what they can do now and underestimate what they can accomplish long term. So this is a situation where the tortoise does win the race. You just continue taking the right actions, you develop, you grow, and over time it will happen if you'll be consistent. It'll happen in some form. The only way, as they say, you can fail is to quit. But we tend to beat ourselves up, so stop beating yourself up. I want you to be a little bit more patient. I want you to be a little bit more loving with yourself. For instance, if you're a singer and you based everything on maybe that television audition, you thought you were going to get it and you didn't, so it was like you just wanted to give up, or you came out with a recording and it just failed. You could be a real estate agent and you failed your exam, or it took so long and you've still not sold a house. You will have failures like that. You just have to be patient with yourself. You have to have good dialogue with yourself, not beating yourself up, but learn from those mistakes, learn from why things are not working, and go forward and do it in a better way, but stay focused on your calling. Think of your calling as a long-term situation. If you think that your calling is going to happen right now, you're going to achieve that dream right now, I have to break the news to you. Chances are it might not happen. I've been through this several times with people where they just weren't patient with themselves, and some of them just gave up and they're not doing what their dream was, when if they would have just stayed on the path, they could have made that happen. And I will tell you, from what I know, absolutely most likely they would have made that happen. They gave up too soon on themselves. They gave up too soon on their dreams. So you have to be patient with yourself, yet you can't procrastinate on the task that you have to do. As we develop a strategy here, there will be tasks. You can't procrastinate on those. You have to do them. You have to pick up that phone when you need to. You have to go to that meeting when you need to. You have to just do the task that will lead you there, but you still can't beat yourself up and not be patient with yourself. And I'll tell you some of the reasons why things take long, because we live in a day of almost instant fame and instant gratification and knowledge that comes to us so fast, through the news, as we've discussed before. But the fact is that those kind of things, like the social media millionaires that happen, the people that you see that just got that one break on a TV show and they became an instant celebrity, they do happen. Those things do happen. They are rare. They're even more rare than winning the lottery, but they do happen. For most of us, we have to go about the daily grind. We have to get up in the morning and we have to keep working towards that dream until it happens, working towards that calling until it happens. I'll tell you a great book that you can read, speaking of getting up in the morning and making things happen. Go out and find a book called Rise and Grind. The author is Damon from Shark Tank, and I'll put some information in the email here to where you can be able to go find that book. But it's a great book, and it's about people's processes when they get up in the morning, successful people, and what their process was to rise and grind and go about their day, and where they came from to make things happen. And you'll see a lot of examples of patience in that, and how people were patient with themselves, but they got to where they were going. Some of the things that happen in your journey that are just going to cause things to take a little while, one of them is just mistakes and a learning curve. We go about and we take action, and as we develop our talents, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to have every piece of knowledge and every skill that you need sometimes in the beginning. You're going to make mistakes. Again, you have to learn from them and grow. You're going to have a different learning curve than those around you. You know, some people learn faster than others, and people learn different ways, whether visual or audible. They learn different ways. And so you can't compare people that you're looking at with you. They've started at a different place in the race, and you can't measure yourself by where they started and where you're starting now. Give yourself about 2 to 3 years to accomplish something great from right now. Not just something, but some things to go towards your dream. Give yourself some time. So let's make a time frame of 2 to 3 years. And that's where we're going to be patient with. Again, you're going to do the task daily. You're going to work towards it daily. But you're going to give yourself a good time frame so that you're not beating yourself up. And most likely, the things that you want to accomplish, a lot of it's going to be accomplished a lot sooner than that. Another thing that happens besides the learning curve is retooling, and that is how we talked about some people have to be reconditioned. In fact, that's pretty much everybody. It takes about 90 days. You'll set a goal, you'll set a resolution, and within 90 days, it's just kind of gone. So you have to get in the habit of retooling. You have to get in the habit of reconditioning yourself for the next 90 days. I've seen this in companies where we'll bring in some speaker or some author, and they've created this revolutionary system to get everybody on track. And there have been a lot of great systems, a lot of them that you would know, you've seen in the bookstore. But even when the whole company gets on board with that, within a 90-day period, they may have in the beginning got together and we're going to set these goals and we're going to accomplish these things and we're putting these processes into place, and they have the best intentions, and they start off gangbusters. But within 90 days, it tends to fall apart. And you do that same thing. You know, you'll set resolutions, and especially at the beginning of the year, but if within 90 days, if you don't get used to retooling yourself, and there's another way to even measure it quicker than that, and we'll talk about it in a future video. But if you don't retool yourself every 90 days and get used to that, then you're just going to let it fall apart. You're going to be ashamed that it fell apart, and you're just not going to go back to it. And you're not going to go towards the dream that you wanted to go towards. So retooling is another thing. Contacts is another area. You know, networking. There are people that are going to help you accomplish your dream. There are people that are going to walk alongside you in your journey, but you may not have met them yet. And if you have met them, you may not have kept the contact. You may have let it pass in your life. It might be a contact that you have to, rekindle, reconnect. And so be aware of those people, and just, be genuine with people. Know that if you're trying to work towards something you're going to want them to do, make sure you're bringing something to the table too. Think of them as well. That that the win-win situation is a real thing, but you've got to be willing to let them win as well. But like I said, the person that will come into your life to help you, they just may not be there yet. You may not have met them yet. Another thing is just that life happens. There are things that are going to happen in your life, things with your family, things with your friends, things with your job, things with your cars, things with your home. Just things are going to happen, and they're going to throw you off track. So you have to look at your big picture. You have to look at your long-term picture and know that your dream or calling is a thing that is a priority to you. It's a thing that you're focused on. Is it a calling without repentance? And so as these things happen, focusing on that lets you know you're going to get through this, you're going to stay on track, and you're going to reach your destination no matter the interruptions that happen in your life. So be patient, because your dream is worth it. Your dream is birthed deep inside of you from when you were born. And it wants to live. It doesn't want to die. It wants to thrive. But you have to be patient with it. And you have to stay focused on it. And you have to think long term with it. So on our next video, what I'm going to want to talk to you about is how to develop some areas of your life. How to develop some things that have to do with your calling, and things that you have to develop to let people know about your calling. So your assignment for the next video is this. I want you to think of one area that you know that you need to grow in, you know that you need to develop more in. I want you to write that down, and then I want you to write down a few ways that you can educate yourself on that subject. And then I want you to email those to me, and we'll discuss that a little bit more in the next video. So as I always say, Dream Chaser, The world needs you to dream, so keep that dream alive and stay focused. We will get there. But living your dream is up to you. Remember, you're Luke Skywalker. You're the star of your show. Nobody can do it for you. They can walk alongside you, but they cannot do it for you. It's your dream. And I'm the guide. I'm just Yoda. But again, you're Luke Skywalker. So the world needs you to dream. See you later, Dream Chaser. See you next time. Thank you.